Okay, so I thought this rant should be called something along the lines of Shattering Your Illusions of a Representative Government, right? You see, I really think it seems like there must be some majority of people that think that they have representatives, that people that care about them, that are out there in positions of power and authority, that are representing their best interest and the best interest of our country. Well, let me just punch a million holes in that stupid fucking notion right about now. Okay? So, let me see. How do I explain this to you? It really should be obvious, honestly, but you choose not to see it. If you were to ask a statist, right, like, what are your taxes for, right? Be like, I need my roads, right? How are your roads doing? How are my roads doing? Do you see your fucking... Are your roads shitty? Right? Have you noticed a lot of potholes or really shoddy repair work on a lot of roads? Have you noticed how the lights don't work that well? Have you noticed in certain, areas, possibly every area, how there's places where there's street signs missing, where the name of the road isn't even marked, the mapping isn't even updated, there's potholes, and the fucking places where the potholes are patched is done shitty, and traffic is jammed up, the goddamn traffic lights don't even work correctly, which causes a lot of traffic, so on and so forth, right? Tell me that that's good fucking management. And how come it is that like 100 years ago or 200 years ago they built bridges to last 100 or 200 fucking years or longer, and now they build a bridge and 3 years later or 10 years later that shit collapses and a bunch of cars go plummeting to the fucking earth? Can you explain that to me? If you have representative government that gives a shit about you, explain to me why it is that if you still have a television that was built in the 60s on your porch or in your house somewhere, let me guess, you turn it on and the shit still works, doesn't it? Now, if you go buy a flat screen TV brand new today at Walmart, how long do you think that shit's gonna last? Sure as fuck isn't gonna last for 60 or 70 fucking years, is it? More like 2 or 3 if you're lucky, right? Or you gotta replace it? Does that sound like we have somebody looking out for our best interests? Does that sound like people that are planning for our future? How about the power grid in the United States? Wires above ground. One of the only countries in the fucking world that doesn't have our fucking power lines buried underground. Our entire infrastructure is designed to fail, and this is goddamn obvious. You should see this. I mean, seriously. They've had the technology to have, like, high-speed fucking rail, but do we have it? No. We got old-ass railroads. What happens? Fucking old-ass trains wreck. Chemical spills. All kinds of shit's been happening. Bridges collapsing. Fucking, dude. Communication collapsing. Power outages. All this shit. All this shit that was avoidable. Why? Because nobody gives a shit about upgrading or maintaining the infrastructure of our country. Why is that? Because they don't want to. That's why. Because they don't give a fuck. That's why. Wake up, dude. This shit's been going down for like 100 fucking years. We still got the same technology as far as the goddamn infrastructure of the country goes. In fact, if we're being honest, we have less and more outdated technology now in terms of maintaining the infrastructure of our country than we did 100 fucking years ago. You get me? Are you hearing what I'm saying? Are you comprehending this? Like, think about it, dude. Look at the old architecture, okay? Look at the old architecture from, like, over 100 years ago. And now, look at the shit you see up and down the street everywhere. Can you tell me any different? Can you happen to notice any differences there? Because I could probably tell you some differences. Okay, one was built to last a long time and was made to have an aesthetic beauty. Whereas what we have now is not made to last fucking even 10 years, if you're lucky. And has no aesthetic beauty and is just goddamn ugly and formless and shitty and made out of the cheapest shit materials. Why do you think that is? Is it because we have people governing and controlling our society that really care about us and want us to have a nice future? Or perhaps could it be that we have people that want us to die? Okay? Think about it. Why is it that the older generations, I mean, how old did your grandparents live to be, right? And how old are the younger generations living to be? How many people now are dying of heart attacks and cancer and shit like that at the ages of, in their 20s, 30s, 40s? And our grandparents and our great-grandparents, you know, drank like a fish, smoked into their fucking 90s, lived to be 100, right? Ate red meat and big fucking heaps of bacon every day, and mashed potatoes and fucking whatever the fuck they wanted. Lived to be like 103 years old or something, or 98 or something. While they're smoking a Cuban cigar and drinking a fifth of whiskey every day or something, you know. Some of them, yeah. We got people with like liver failure in their 20s and 30s, early 40s. What do you think that is? I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that there's GMO and tons of chemicals in the food, chemicals in the water, chemicals in the shampoo, chemicals in the soap, chemicals on our clothing, chemicals and chemicals and chemicals and chemicals and chemicals raining down from the sky everywhere. And oh yeah, right, radiation. I'm sure radiation coming from literally everything has nothing to do with it. The Wi-Fi and the 5G and the cell towers and the this and the that and the, you know, we're getting fucking poisoned to death. Why do you think that is? It's probably because the government loves us, isn't it? I'll bet it is. They really fucking care about us, right? We have representatives. They care about us. That's why our country has gone from practically a paradise. You know, go watch some videos from the goddamn 60s, man. The 50s, the 60s. Look what the fuck we had. Look at videos from like 100 years ago. You can find them. 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago. They walk around in fucking suits, riding around on luxurious trains. All the buildings are beautiful. The streets are beautiful. Everything's perfect. Now we're walking around here, living in a third world cesspit. There's videos. You look all over the country. There's homeless people everywhere. Nobody gives a shit. All the technology they're building falls apart in a few years. All the buildings they build fall apart in a few years. I'm living in a building right now that's probably 150 fucking years old or older. And yeah, it's starting to fall apart. You think the new apartment complex that they built down the street is going to be there in 100 fucking years? You think? You think it's even going to be there in 10 or 20 years? What do you think it's going to look like in one of those fucking apartments? And that's just going to collapse and fall to the ground, ain't it? It's made out of dog shit, ain't it? You know it is. Wake the fuck up, dude. Like, this whole fucking shit is designed to fail. They know it. They did it on purpose. How come the fucking military, like, right, you want a strong government, a strong military, and blah, blah, blah. I don't care, right wing, whatever the fuck you are. Where's our military? I know, oh, we got a big, strong military. Well, how come they got fucking tanks that were roaming around the desert fucking 20, 30 goddamn years ago instead of newer, better equipment? Are they still flying motherfucking F-16s around or something? How about F-14s? They still in the air probably? I wouldn't fucking doubt it. Why don't we just fucking call up some P-51 Mustangs and add them to our arsenal? How about that? We should ride freight trains, coal-powered freight trains into battle. No, we need horse and petrol. We need... like, what the fuck? Dude, we're going backwards, man. Our country is fucking going to shit. Yeehaw. No, I mean, a lot of the technology, it's a joke, dude. The only technology they have that looks better is there to entertain us and keep us distracted from the fact that everything else is a piece of shit and that are burning our country to the fucking ground and poisoning us to death, in case you hadn't fucking noticed. You know? Wake up. Oh yeah, also robbing us blind. In case you hadn't noticed that one. Blind, deaf, dumb, dead. Dumb, deaf, dead, 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 deaf, dumb, dead. There we go. Yep. I mean, this place is a fucking joke now, dude. Don't you get it? The laughing stock of the fucking world here, man. You know, when like 70 fucking years ago, strongest, richest country in the world, highest test scores on everything. The fuck happened, man? I'll tell you what. Boomers, man. Nah, but that's part of it. Yeah, that's a big fucking part of it, but... Dude, look at... Now they want to brag about success, yeah, because they were born with a goddamn golden spoon in their fucking mouth. Basically, right? Sorry. I worked really hard for 5 minutes, and now I have a house, and a car, and a boat, and a trailer, and I'm awesome, and then I sold my boat, my house, and my trailer that I bought for fucking, working for 6 months or a year. Now I'm a millionaire, now I have a business, and now I have this and that, and blah, blah, blah. Well, good for you. Well, it doesn't work like that for us anymore, okay? Right? It's like, fuck. Yeah, well, fuck you guys. You guys are just lazy. You should work 9,000 hours a day. What's wrong with you, you lazy bastards? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, boy! No, it's really robber barons, honestly. But the boomers are really great at enabling the robber barons and making the robber barons wealthier and so on and so forth. Going along with their every little scheme to enrich themselves so that they could live and be high on the hog, get fat, and, pass nothing on to their children and so on. Except for the will to pull yourself up by your bootstrap, boy. No, man, this place is... I just mean it's ugly when you really think about it. Like what this country used to be like. Do you have any idea how many theme parks there used to be here, or what the architecture used to look like all over the country? Do you even comprehend that? Like 60, 70 years ago, 100 years, something like homelessness was not even really a thing. I mean, there were people that were like hobos or whatever that was basically a life choice for them, though, not like a necessity, and I mean, even the poorest people could manage to have a shelter, a cabin or something, a shack, a decent shack, a cabin, plant a garden. The dumbest, poorest people in existence could have at least like a shack and a cabin. They weren't sleeping under bridges and tarps and stuff like that. I mean, some people decided to ride rail cars because they thought it was like exciting and fun or whatever. It's like people did that kind of shit more like as an adventure than and a life choice than necessity to survive. It wasn't like. I mean, they're calling this like the silent depression because nobody talks about the fact that, like, if you really look at the actual factual statistics and numbers and stuff, that the reality is that we're in a depression that is worse than the Great Depression. Like, far worse than the Great Depression. But nobody wants to talk about it. Everyone wants to pretend like it doesn't exist. Like, that's just one factor that we got here. But, I mean, we're pretty much being exterminated, honestly. Nobody wants to look at it. Nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. But it's clear that it's all been done by design. That this has been designed to happen for a long time. Because look at what was built, It wasn't built to last, You don't build a bridge with cheap materials so it collapses in 10 years in order to sustain a society that you want to succeed in 100 years. You know what I'm saying? You don't build an apartment building for people to be able to thrive in for the next 100 years by building one that's going to collapse in 5 or 10 years. They know this, and yet they do it anyway. Why do you think that is? Because they're not planning for our better future. They're not planning for our success. They are planning for our death and destruction. And this should be obvious to anyone who really looks at what the fuck is going on. Cities all across the country, many of which are abandoned entirely. There are entire cities all over this country that used to be booming towns with thousands, tens of thousands of residents, homes all over the place, burned to the ground. You understand? Flooded out, burned to the ground. People with bulldozers, people with gas cans, burned them to the ground, came in with bulldozers and bulldozed the houses to the ground. Do you understand? You understand that there are fucking entire towns, many of which were abandoned just because the banks or the government said, get the fuck out. And these houses are still sitting there. Houses, hospitals, schools, shopping malls, fucking all kinds of shit. Hotels, empty buildings, far as the eye can see. Why? Because get the fuck out, said the banks. That's why. Get the fuck out, said the government. That's why. Where are those people? Well, I don't know. Why don't you take a drive? Little cross-country road trip. Look to your left. Look to your right. Park in any shopping mall if they still exist. Park in any goddamn grocery store or any gas station if they still exist. Look around. What do you see? Tell me, do you happen to see any vehicles that seem to be loaded up with way too much shit? Do you see ones with busted out windows, dented up fucking frames? Do you see garbage bags where the windows used to be? Do you see a bunch of shit piled up, blankets and so on and so forth? Guess what? Those are called homeless people. Do you see RVs? Do you see tents alongside the road everywhere? Do you see fucking tarps and cardboard boxes and fucking mess everywhere? Why do you think that is? Why do you think there's garbage all over the place? I'll tell you fucking why. Because there used to be a government. There used to be services that were provided, allegedly, by your tax dollars that took care of that shit. And now they don't. They don't even fucking try. You understand? You want to get angry at the people for leaving their trash on the ground? Then tell me, what trash can are they allowed to throw their trash in? You want to get mad at people for shitting on the sidewalk? Then tell me, where are they allowed to shit? Where is their toilet? Where are they able to wash their hands? Where are they able to microwave a burrito? There are no services provided for people who have been robbed out of house and home. You people turn a fucking blind eye to this shit. Let's see how you like it, because you're next, motherfucker. You understand? We're all next. Until more people wake up and realize what the fuck is going on. We're all fucked. All of us. Middle class, you in your fucking house with your social security check, feeling all comfortable with your pension, your social security check. Guess what? That's going bye-bye, dude. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. What you gonna do now? Oh, I'll just go get get one of those jobs because they're so available. The government, the TV told me the jobs are super available. There's listings everywhere. I saw signs in windows. Yeah, well, guess what? The signs in the windows are a lie. What the television tells you is a lie. Why don't you go try applying for those fucking jobs? See how many jobs are available. The signs in the window everywhere, bud. Yeah, I know. There used to be signs in the window saying, get your jabs right now. Super helpful for you. Did you believe those ones? Well, do you believe all the things that signs say? Okay. Well, maybe you should stop believing fucking ones that says jobs available too, because they're not. Seriously, dude. Like, you're just... Apartments available. Jobs available. It's all bullshit. You want me to explain why it's bullshit? You know what they do with the jobs available sign? They take a bunch... They'll waste your time, take 1 million applications, pile them in the corner next to the trash can in the shredder or whatever. Okay, we'll give you a call someday. Bye. Have a nice day. Right? Same thing with like rental applications, everything else. It's just they make more money off the application fees than they do by renting apartments to people. And they'll gladly waste millions and millions of people's time saying that there's jobs available when they're not, just so they can keep up the illusion that there's jobs available, so that you boomers can keep saying there's lots of jobs out there, you're just lazy, you know. You really don't get it, the reality of the situation. But you need to. You really fucking need to. You know? Do you know what Deagle is? I didn't know a lot about Deagle, but you probably can go on. You're not going to be able to find what I'm talking about. Well, you might be able to find somebody that has a recording of it or something. I had pictures of it somewhere. I don't remember, but there. Okay, so basically, Deagle was this like giant super corporation. We're not talking about like these people. I don't know what all they. I don't know what in the entirety of what they sell. But just to give you a basic idea of how powerful and rich these fuckers, this corporation is, these are like the kind of people that sell battleships to countries. And like fighter jets and submarines and stuff like that, This is not like, I'm going to sell you some toys and blankets and stuff. This is like, no, I'm going to sell you some battleships and some fighter jets and some fucking aircraft carriers. Like, we're talking like big money, big power. Like Amazon, Google, suck my dick. This is Deagle, That's what that is, right? Okay. And their projection for the population of the United States in 2025 was 100 million. And I don't remember the rest of the specifics, but the gross domestic product and the financial resources and so on, it's pretty low. It's pretty pathetic. It's pretty terrible. But you understand that, like, last I looked, which was probably years ago, they were saying the population of the U.S. is 350 million. And 2025 is coming tomorrow, right? So their projection for the population of the United States in what's about to be this year would be a decline of 250 million people. Do you understand? That is more than 2/3. It's more like 3/4 of the population they project to be dead or gone from the United States this year. And we're talking about people who have the resources and the intelligence level to be on a level to be selling aircraft carriers and bombers and fighter jets to motherfucking countries. You understand what I'm talking about? Do you get what I'm saying? This is not fucking Walmart saying this. This is not Google. This is not Amazon. This is a fucking corporation that is so huge, so expansive, so large, so connected that countries are like, yes, I would like to order 50 aircraft carriers and 50,000 fighter jets. And they're like, yes, sir, right away, sir. I would also like 100,000 tanks delivered now. Get me M1 Abrams? Yes. Sir, have you heard about our new tanks, though? No, I cannot afford your new tanks. Send me 50,000 M1 Abrams. They're like, okay, yes, sir, right away. I would like to order also 100,000 F-16s. They're like, yes. 1 million fucking M16 rifles. Like, yes, we can deliver that. Right. This is what I'm talking about. The level of power, and knowledge that these fuckers have. And they're saying that the population of the United States is going to be basically do you know what decimated means? Decimated means that a force is cut down by 1/10. We're talking about 70% or more of the population being annihilated from the United States is there That is what their projection says for the year 2025. You feel me? Okay? Happy New Year! Yay! So yeah. Happy fucking New Year.